Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, all in crypto here, and welcome back, guys, on this magnificent Monday for another daily cryptocurrency market update. And as always, this is a jam-packed one. We've got a lot to cover. We're going to start things off by talking about what is likely going to be one of the main headlines this week, and that is to do with Huobi's alleged insolvency that's going to have repercussions for Tron and a number of other cryptocurrencies like USDT. We're going to look at where all this has came from. We're going to be following a kind of story of it and looking at the concerns that there are. Hearing from Justin Sun, who essentially is ignoring this and saying that it's not an issue. He even posted the letter 4, which we know CZ is using as a kind of sign of ignoring the FUD and when FUD is about. And then we'll kind of round it all off. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll have a good overview of, again, what I think is going to be quite a pressing story and could become an issue. Essentially, Adam Cochran is basically saying that Huobi has the same issues as FTX. And we'll look at that, get into the sort of token distribution and everything in between. Then we'll, of course, go on to Bitcoin. It has been painstaking for Bitcoin. Let me just say this straight off the bat. I mean, this is your price action. I don't day trade anymore. Personally, I've tried 5-minute scalping all the way up to larger term swing trading, which really is kind of just investing and everything in between. And for me, I'm more of a, I would say, swing trader than anything, unless I see a reason to take a short term setup. And this is one of the reasons why I don't day trade. Because often crypto can be like this, certainly in the kind of doldrummy, lack of interest markets that we're in. So we'll cover Bitcoin and everything in between. We have been looking at, way before many of these accounts start talking about stuff like this, the 4-year cycle theory and where we're at in relation to the halvening. We'll go over that a little bit. We'll talk about a number of other things, and then we'll recap on the week ahead, which we did cover in quite a lot of detail yesterday, certainly in regards to inflation, how it's expected to come out slightly higher. But let's start the video off, as mentioned, with the Huobi news. So this is really where it started for me. So why is Tether selling off? Likely Huobi insolvency. Binance started selling off USDT in bulk. We found out that Huobi execs and Tron personnel questioned by police. This is not long after Sun's STUSDT launch and weird balance shift in Huobi last month. Just like with FTT, Binance is often the first to know about risky assets or issues within the industry due to its scales and connection. And if we look at the timestamps of Friday's rapid sell-off of USDT, it's after the time Huobi employers would have been questioned. I think this is kind of a bit of a jump that Adam's suggesting. However, I think Adam's done some great work. He's not been right on everything, of course. But, I do certainly appreciate him highlighting this. And it's after weeks of steady USDT decline in Huobi. And after Sun's launch of STUSDT, which is USDT he claims is sitting in government bonds, gaining a 4.29% yield. His website claims there are 351,380 stakers, but Tron's own chain shows that 98% of token is held by Sun or Huobi directly, and when you stake USDT into STUSDT, it gets swept into Huobi's deposit address. If STUSDT was real, we'd expect then $500 million of redemptions from Huobi's address on Tron into redeemed Tether so they can buy bonds for yields. But no such redemption exists. The mint proxy sends to the main address, which in turn sends it to other addresses, which are all either Sun's, Huobi's, or Sun's Binance address. I think there's quite a lot of interesting things here. I haven't really looked into STUSDT. Maybe it's something I should do. But more importantly, a ton of it seems to go into Justin's own DeFi positions like Just Lend. This means across USDT and USDC combined, Huobi only holds 90 million of the assets. You can see this is their balance here. I think this is according to DeFi Llama potentially. But Huobi owns Merkle Tree Audit still lists that Huobi users have 630 million of USDT held and a wallet balance of $631 million in USDT. Of course, this stopped updating last month. So there has been a audit on this. However, Adam here is questioning the credibility of it. So users think they have a balance of 631 million in Huobi, but there is only 90 million there. The rest Justin Sun is using to prop up his other DeFi apps and paying a yield on it to get users to deposit more into Huobi. I'm not sure about this, but I'm just reading it as Adam's reporting, by the way. But it's not just that. All the users' ETH is missing as well. Sun has turned it into ST ETH, all of it. Users think they hold 141,000 Ethereum on Huobi, and instead Sun holds about half of that total balance, and it's all in ST ETH. So I don't think Binance is selling their tether for two reasons. They want to topple USDT to push stables they can control and gain from. I don't agree with that because their BUSD, which they did control, they openly, CZ I think is a great guy, by the way, openly came out and said, look, go to another stable coin. It's likely going to lose dominance and we're going to start withdrawing it from products. But hey ho, they realize Sun doesn't have the USDT he claims to. And if users find out, they might mass dump to escape his exchange. I don't know why USDT is in question here because USDT is actually backed supposedly 1-to-1. So theoretically, it's redeemable for what it represents. So there's always a lot of FUD about USDT. It's almost like people want USDT to fail, which would be definitely catastrophic for the entire industry. I'm just not sure it will. Even when you add up the money that Sun has funneled from Huobi into his DeFi apps, he only seems to have about half the total obligations from Huobi. The only assets they are really healthy in is Bitcoin, which is, I guess, a good thing. Just like he did with Poloniex, Sun has been using Huobi as a personal piggy bank to earn from users' deposits, and he can't honor the balances there on ETH or USDT if users try to withdraw or sell in bulk. When Binance heard that Huobi Tron employees were being investigated in relation to actions at Huobi, they started slamming the 3CRV USDT sell into DAI to mitigate their risk because Huobi is deeply insolvent. Can we also just appreciate for a moment how dumb it is for Sun to maintain a balance audit page and share wallet addresses with DeFi Llama when he is pulling shit like this? Unbelievable. A lot of claims being made here that I can't verify. So I can't really push back, I guess, on this. However, we'll look at Justin Sun's sort of response to this. This is a bit more of a kind of thread that I've been looking at. After 21 million USDT left Huobi last night, so this is all recent. This came out on the 6th, it's now the 7th day, leaving 63 million against a supposed $630 million in obligations, meaning USDT in your Huobi balance is worth about 10 cents and dropping. I don't know how that works, by the way. But this is essentially looking at it. USDT reserves that they claim they've got, and then this is the reserves that he's essentially saying they've got. Again, Huobi current total balance is $2.5 billion, of which 662 million is Tron, 500 million is HT, which I think is their exchange token, 884 million is BTC, which is supposed to also cover the $3 billion in BTC issued on Tron. 168 is in HBTC. This leaves 286 million in other assets. You can see here. So even all the other liquid assets on the exchange in total are less than 1/3 of the reported amount in USDT obligations. I'm not sure about this. Just is using the same assets in Huobi, Justlen, Poloniex, and his other apps to enrich himself and hoping users don't withdraw or are not informed enough to hear of the issues. These users are going to get badly wrecked when it comes to crashing down. Lots of claims being made here. This, of course, is Justin Sun's response. Ignore FUD, keep building. Tron and Huobi will thrive through continuous development, trust in our vision, and community efforts for a stronger future. Preserve guaranteed success. Yeah, doesn't fill you with the biggest amount of confidence, does it? They've not actually come out and addressed these issues. There is a notice too, even though Justin Sun will embezzle the funds, Justin has vast personal wealth compared to Huobi, so there won't be a bank run. This is the rhetoric being fed to Huobi employees. Internationally, Huobi assets are literally just Sun's IOUs. On the other hand, Tron folks wanted to make sure people know it's only to do with Huobi and not Tron itself. They don't want catch up. So I think there's a lot going on. I think this is going to become more and more of a story. I'm yet to see a proper rebuttal to Adam Cochran's claims. Like I say, I'm not qualified enough to go on chain and look at all this. So, and I think the onus is really on Justin and Huobi. But we will see. You know, we've had lots of claims, of course. And a lot of people still almost want a lot, you know, crypto exchanges to be insolvent. We've had lots of claims of other exchanges being insolvent. We've only really had one in terms of a big exchange that's actually proven to be the case. And many others have sort of just, it's been a lot of sort of FUD, but we will see. So this could become more and more of an issue. Onto the crypto markets. You know, we've got an interesting week ahead of us. Obviously, we have the main one, which is CPI. The expectations are currently coming in at 2.8 according to IG. However, if you look at the TE forecast, they're actually coming in at 3.1, 3.2, I think is the consensus. It's going to be interesting to see how after over a year of continuously declining inflation, a higher print affects the markets. Something we will be watching and observing. And then, of course, how does that in turn affect interest rate pricing, the yield markets, which I don't know at this point about the yields. This means bonds are getting smashed. I could see this going higher, and this is the front runner for interest rates, and certainly the 10-year is really making those moves, which is why you're seeing a dollar stronger than expected. I mean, this sold off on the back end of the non-farm payroll number. You can see this here. In fact, no, what am I talking about? This here was the non-farm payroll, and it's already starting to retrace a lot of it. If we drop down the time frames to make that a little bit clearer, this was non-farm payroll, and then, of course, you're now retracing a lot of it. Dollar's in a bit of a no man's land, just like crypto right now. We know crypto's shown significantly more weakness than a lot of the other market. And right here is no man's land for me in terms of price action. You know, this is I don't really know what to do with this, whether to predict that the dollar's going higher or lower really here until it does something like this. Then you're looking at a higher dollar. And if it does something like this, you're looking at a lower dollar. This is just a deviation for now. We'll see. Obviously, the CPI is going to be big. Bitcoin has legitimately just been doing nothing. It's doing the same thing that it did here. Maybe this is another bull flag, and you break to the upside of it, coiling around that 30K. You know, we're going into an interesting time in regards to there are lots of expectations that the ETFs will have to be approved by October. This one is claiming September. But we will see. So the first deadline, you can see a lot of these are on the 9th in terms of the iShares Trust, the Bitwise Bitcoin ETP Trust, Vanek, Wisdom Tree, Investco, Wise Organ, Bitcoin Trust, and Valkyrie. It's very interesting how we're kind of following the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory again. This is something that we've done a lot of looking at. This chart, by the way, was just copied and pasted by so many people. Although, if you were subscribers to this channel, you'd be well aware of where we are in regards to the Bitcoin 4-year cycle theory and how to look at it for yourself. If you use Brave New Liquid Coin Index, it's the longest Bitcoin chart that you can find. And you can see the halving dates are at the bottom of my screen here. So we are basically just following it. You know, using this, you can see that actually it's quite often you get a sell-off into the next year, but not always the case. So we will see what comes about. But ultimately, you guys know that we remain long and strong. We are bullish. We think generally stocks are setting the pace for the environment. We'll see how the stock market opens. You are definitely in pullback territory for stocks. See, Apple, oof. You know, this is pullback territory. And we'll see what happens. You know, I think people are going to get wrecked trying to short stocks. That's my overall opinion. You had the likes of Microsoft that beautifully made our target and then have started to sell off. We'll see what comes in. You've got lots of smaller stocks that are kind of, and we're going to do a review on Michael Burry's portfolio later, looking at what he holds, because they look like altcoins, basically. You've got things like Zoom, which he's long. You know, I think he's right to be long here. This is potentially forming a stage 1 into what we could assess might become a stage 2. I mean, it looks like many of our beloved, to take the draw off, just in case I've got anything on there, altcoins. Some better than others. And by the way, everybody in my group caught this. So yeah, on that note, I am going to love and leave you. It's going to be a very interesting week. I'll keep you up to date on the Huobi news. This is just as I know it. And this is, of course, the allegations that are being made, I believe mainly from Adam. But we'll see what unfolds. Lots of videos coming out today, guys, so do stay tuned. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. A like and a comment is always greatly appreciated. And on that note, I'm going to love and leave you. In regards to Bitcoin, let's just see what happens. You know, still a bit uncertain in regards to the short term, but ultimately we assess that this is now a broader uptrend. So a pullback is okay for somebody like me. I'll accumulate it. Where it pulls back to, I think, is really anybody's guess. It could have been done with its pullback, and something may sort of spike its ears, but we will see. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Have a great day, guys. See you in the next one.